Welcome back to Live at 4. The Western Illinois football team hit the road on Saturday, traveling to Vermillion, South Dakota. The Leathernecks took on their former head coach Bob Nielsen and the South Dakota Coyotes in the Dakota Dome. And it was the matchup we've all been waiting for, taking on former head coach Bob Nielsen. We start off in the second quarter, and it's Chris Streveler on the quarterback keeper for South Dakota, putting them up 31-14 going into half. But the Leathernecks would answer. Sean McGuire answers with a keeper of his own to put Western on the board, making it 31-21 in the third. Then later in the quarter, it's Jamie Gilmore taking the handoff 9 yards to the house. WIU down 31-28 in the third. Then in the fourth now, the Western defense comes up big as broadcasting major Josh Smith forces the fumble deep in the red zone, and that led to this. Sean McGuire drops back, and he finds Jalen Acklin over the middle to get into Coyote territory. Western now threatening, and Sean McGuire in the red zone finds Joey Borsellino in the end zone to give the Leathernecks the 35-34 lead with 32 seconds remaining. Now seconds remaining in the game, Coyote kicker Miles Bergner attempts the 54-yard kick to win, but it goes wide to the left, and the Leathernecks come back in Vermillion after being down 31-14 at half. Steve McShane ran for a $113 and a touchdown, and Brett Taylor records 15 tackles as Western Illinois comes back to win 35-34 and on the road. Leathernecks moved to 6-2 overall and 3-2 in conference. But let's focus on high school football for a little bit. Playoff time is upon us with several area teams in first round action over the weekend. We start off with the 6-3 Greenfield Northwestern Tigers taking on Brown County Hornets on Saturday. The Tigers would strike first on a 30-yard scamper by the fullback Jacob Foyles, who does the rest, and he takes it to the house with a two-point conversion, with the two-point conversion being no good. Greenfield Northwestern leads 6-0 in the second quarter, but the Hornets would answer with a 2-yard touchdown run by running back Garrett Brown, 7-6 with only seconds left in the second quarter. And now the Hornets capitalize on a throw from quarterback Joe Hendricker to tight end Tanner Susanbach, making it 14-6 in the third quarter. And the Hornets would just pile it on after that, scoring on a 5-yard run by running back Darian Drake. Hornets lead 21-6 in the third quarter. Brown County would eventually tack on another score for good measure. The Hornets roll into round 2 over GNW. Up next for Brown County, they travel east to greet Warrensburg-Latham on Saturday at 2 p.m. Over to Class 3A, Beardstown. Robbie Howard turned the program around in 2016, but the Tigers faced this guy from North Mac. On the second drive of the first quarter, Grant Graham races for a 32-yard touchdown run to put the Panthers up early. To the second quarter, and 4th and 4, it's Graham again using his legs to score. The home Panthers are dominating 21-0 at half. In the third quarter, this time Graham dropping back, but he gets picked off by Pascal Gilavugi as he puts the few moves on. He bobs and weaves for 78 yards, pick 6 to the crib, putting Beardstown on the board, trailing North Mac only 21-7 after 3 quarters. But ultimately, it was too much of the Grant Graham show. Here he ices the game with yet another one of his long runs down the sidelines for 6. Have yourself a day, why don't you, Grant Graham? The Beardstown season comes to an end, but the Tigers are moving in the right direction after falling in round 1, 35-7. To the big boys of Class 6A, Galesburg, the host, aiming to win its first ever playoff game. We pick it up late in the second quarter. The Greyhounds on the move. Quarterback Leonard Smith finds a wide open Montel Evans to the end zone, tying the game at 13 into half. Third quarter now, DeAndre Morin breaks the tie on a 16-yard touchdown run up the middle. Silver Streaks lead 20-13. Now later, Jacob Ross throws off his back foot to Jacob Carl. The two-point conversion would be successful. Galesburg trying to pull away in this one, but a costly mistake here on a bad snap, and Chris Collins tracks it down for Hubbard, putting the Greyhounds in the red zone. Now on a play-action pass, Craig Bowman, and hang on, Hubbard is making a game of it, trailing by a score of 28-21 in the fourth quarter. The Silver Streaks would take some time off and put the icing on the cake with Morin up close. Galesburg captures the elusive playoff win, which means it's time to storm the field. History made for the Silver Streaks thanks to Morin serving as the workhorse for 167 rushing yards. The work is cut out for Galesburg with a second-round matchup at undefeated powerhouse Sacred Heart Griffin on Saturday in afternoon in Springfield. Now switching from the football field to WIU cross country, Western Illinois hosted the Summit League Cross Country Championships at Spring Lake on Saturday. And it was a beautiful day for the Summit League Championships at Spring Lake. Up first was the women's race as the girls come around the corner. Western Illinois' Madison Leffler holding off Emma Nelson of South Dakota State. But in first place from SDSU was Emily Dene, and Leffler finished in 38th place with a final time of 23 minutes and 39 seconds. Next was the men's race, and the runners are trying to stay in packs here as WIU holds together, but IUPUI and North Dakota State hold the lead, and the rest follow here. But Western Illinois' top runner on the day, Grant Kaiser, is trying to make up time here, and he keeps up with North Dakota State runners in the process. The top runner on the day for the men's side was Kyle Murphy of IUPUI, coming in at a final time of 25 minutes and 8 seconds, and Grant Kaiser finished with a final time of 26 minutes and 51 seconds. Overall, we start with the women's results, and the University of South Dakota comes out on top, followed by North Dakota State and Western coming in 8th place. And over to the results for the men, the South Dakota State comes away with a win, followed by IUPUI. Western Illinois finishes 6th out of 7 teams in the championship. And that's all for sports. Join us tomorrow morning at 9 for more in-depth highlights on our new show, Local Sports Focus. Final word is next.